Welcome back to another episode of Millennial Money. Today, just like our stock portfolios, we've got 50% of the group here.
Hey, you stole my joke. I was going to say that one. Yeah, I hope you shorted us because we're 50% down.
There are two of us left on this episode of Millennial Money.
Welcome back.
/ confronting Andrei. Jikh, welcome.
Sure. Hi.
Thanks for being here, man.
Thanks for having me.
I'm in your place, so thank you for letting me be here in these short shorts.
Of course.
I was just on Don't Sweat It. Make sure to check out their podcast. I was expecting to be sweating in there, and they made me sweat here instead.
Check out the podcast if you haven't seen it. We have awesome guests like Kevin.
Oh, thanks.
Thank you.
So I have questions for you, and we got to start with the real ones that people are worried about.
Why do we sound like newscasters as we're talking? We're so like, wow, hello.
And here today, Tesla stock is down another 30%.
Let's just be ourselves now.
Yeah, right. Okay. So it's the intro mode. It's the intro that gets you.
Okay, got it.
Kind of like, welcome back to
Millennial Money.
Yeah.
Sure. Let's get into it.
Are you still friends with Graham?
No, we had a yes.
Oh, okay. Wait,
totally.
You legitimately gave me a heart attack for a second there. I'm like, oh my gosh, you said that so sincerely. I'm like, what? I don't know about this.
Yeah.
What? Okay.
No, I still see Graham every now and again. We have these groups called Taco Tuesdays where because all
Tacos
of us
on sale, so Graham goes. Okay.
Exactly. Yeah. But also because we're like these people on social media that are antisocial, we have a friend that mutually gets us all together once a week on Taco Tuesdays. So we go there. And yeah, I'll see Graham from time to time, but we're kind of all like, we keep to ourselves, honestly. And the podcast was a great excuse to get us all together, but now that's not happening anymore. We have no friends other than the people that are watching us. So
that's mostly true. Yes, I very much agree. Or the children you make. Speaking of which, when are you having children?
I'm ready to have kids, but Corey, my girlfriend, she's not ready yet. She's actually 28. And she's like, I don't want to be a mom yet without like figuring out what like my life is and like what I want to do.
Well, and you're like what, 60?
I'm 75.
Yeah.
What's the required minimum distribution age?
Oh no.
Was it like 67? I don't know. 72.
That's it.
Yeah.
So,
anyway.
Okay, so you see Graham. What about Jeremy? We ever hear from Jeremy?
Yeah,
does he
Jeremy's
come to taco night?
Well, Jeremy's a dad, so unlike you, he's there for his kids. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. Kevin's a great
probably
dad.
True. Yeah,
Kevin's a great dad. But yeah, Jeremy's always with his kids. So a lot of our friend groups, we don't have kids, and I feel like if you're a parent, you kind of stick with parent friends.
That's a good point.
Is that true?
Yeah. Well, I guess it depends also how social you are. Yeah, because Lauren's like, oh, the kids are having another birthday party. Like, cool. Let me know when the kids are done.
Right.
Wow. Okay, so you guys will see each other occasionally. You all live here in Vegas. When we originally started Millennial Money, there was this idea that we would do Millennial Money in person. We would see each other all the time
because they're so much better in person.
They are way better in person. And like, I was going to move out here. Like, I'm convincing Lauren. We're looking at real estate and stuff. Is it less than you expected, the interaction between all of y'all, since you're all out here? Graham came out here, and
it's about the same. Yeah, if
okay,
we have no obligation to do videos, we just see each other when we see each other. But
so that obligation to do videos would have helped bring everybody together.
I think so.
Yeah.
But besides, like Jeremy and Graham and I, we're such similar people in terms of our interests.
Yeah.
In terms of like, it's like talking to a mirror. You're like, hey, what's up? Like
anything new? No.
Yeah, like we know what we like. We know we like stocks and real estate and all that stuff. And it's just like,
that's
preaching
fair.
to the choir.
So when's Graham going to be my friend again? When is he going to forgive me?
That's a great question. What was your guys' beef again? You guys had a falling out.
I had ticket. Dude, I bought like front row seats to go to his fight.
Yeah. And then you ditched him.
Basically.
Yeah.
Like,
that's a bad friend move.
It's a bad friend move. Some shit happened.
Yeah.
I made a big mistake, and I had to pay the price for that. Not only with his friendship, but in other ways, reputationally and otherwise, and it sucks.
People made money from that event.
Yeah.
Tangentially.
Well, somebody made $2,000 off my ticket. It sucks. It really sucks. I don't know if it was just that. Maybe, who knows? Maybe that was like the straw that broke the camel's back. Maybe I was a bad friend before that.
Sure.
I don't know. I think the easiest thing to do would be like sit down and like talk about it.
Would you like to make a formal apology, or is it more of like a negotiation sit down thing?
Oh no, like I'd absolutely. But like I'm not. I can't hold grudges.
Sure.
And I'm not saying he is.
Yeah.
But like Lauren and I were very opposite on this. Like Lauren will never forget. She's like, Kevin, if you cheat on me, I will cut your fucking balls off, and she'll kill me.
Yeah.
That's Lauren, and she would never forget,
Sure.
right? And she would go out. She would be the troll at the top of every comment on any YouTube video I ever made for the rest of my life. She would go out of her way to make sure the rest of my life was miserable, and then I burned in hell.
That makes sense.
Okay, that's her.
Yeah.
And I love her. Okay, but I'm not like that. I'm very much like, all right, look, I fucked up. Let's sit down and I'm sorry. I'd totally be down for
Well, I feel like with him, maybe he's scared of because I feel like you're the most ambitious person I know, and I think ambition's a wonderful thing and something to be aspired to, but also it can be dangerous because if you're in the way of someone's A to B, they will steamroll past you.
Oh,
and do you know what I'm saying?
No.
When people are ambitious, and it's if that means doing something that might hurt that other person that helps you.
Okay,
it's a dangerous thing that they feel like if there is an opportunity to do so, you might take it.
Oh, interesting. Okay, I get that.
But that's
I mean,
ambition.
that could be in many regards, everyone in finance, we can be critical of each other, right? I hate your damn dividends. And we talked about that on Don't Sweat It. Or I mean, property manage differently from Graham Stephan.
Sometimes it manifests itself though in sneaky ways though, where it's in a video, it's I feel like this person's talking about me, but why wouldn't they call me or text me? I don't know the drama. I'm just a middleman.
No, that's really interesting.
Yeah.
I didn't even think about that. So this is enlightening to me.
Yeah,
because, I'm a big fan of put it out there and let's talk about it. But you're right. Yeah, I mean, maybe there's all of that, right?
Yeah, because I think for you, it's like anything goes. And I love that about you. It's if you want to talk about controversy and it helps, you're all there for it. I feel like Graham and I are much more averse to that. We're
I guess there's that risk too of if I'm confrontational with another creator.
Yes.
That then the byproduct of that is let's say there's Creator Joe, right? And I can't stand Creator Joe because I think he's a scam and I'm vocal about that. But you're friends with Creator Joe and you don't think he's a scam. And maybe he isn't a scam, right? Maybe my opinion is misbased or whatever. Then that would be awkward for you.
Right.
You're right. I never thought about
things
that. That's
like
enlightening.
That, I suppose, yeah.
Enlightenment with Andrei Jikh.
I'm here to help. I'm here to help.
I mean, I think that's very fair and it's totally reasonable. And look, he doesn't need me. He's got great things going. He's got his podcast is fantastic. He does great on his videos. He doesn't need me.
Sure.
I think it would be cool if there was ever, which I don't think there will be, but if there ever, and we talked about this a bit in Don't Sweat It, which is the teaser for Don't Sweat It. If there was ever a Millennial Money reboot, we would have to, as much as possible, all in podcast style it.
Yeah.
Where we come with the research, we're prepared on the topics, and then I could see that getting to where we could do events like they do.
Yeah, for sure. But also, I feel like the better thing to do is maybe invite guests and people that watch our videos.
Which they're doing. All In's doing that.
Yeah.
Every other week, they bring somebody in.
Because that way we don't have to feel like we're trying to measure intellects and just be who knows more about crypto or real estate. It's hey, let's just sit down and
the ruler comes out every week.
Yeah, exactly. Which
is usually this.
Yeah, for me, I'm guys, I'm going to be over there.
No.
I'm not, don't want to embarrass everyone.
Oh.
No, but you know what I mean. It's none of us want to compare, I think. And
I think that's almost, what it
your
is?
Your superpower, by the way, is you can banter with people on camera. That's the thing. If you guys don't know about Kevin, you do know this about Kevin, but you could watch the news and relay it better than the news can as it's coming to you, which is not Graham and I's strengths. At least not mine. I would script everything. I would research and then because I just can't off the cuff like that.
But that's what makes everyone different. And you're right. I mean,
that strength is more shiny in podcast mode. And so you become the star because you can just banter and you have an opinion and data on everything. And then if people have egos, it's well, geez, I can't keep up with that. So that's why I'm saying I think there are times to do that and disagree and have conversations, but I think it's much more enjoyable to just have ordinary people we can help rather than debate the minutia of the market, which frankly, at the end of the day, no one knows where it's going.
That's a good point. I get that. Those are all things to consider for, if anybody makes a podcast, consider all these things.
Yes.
It's
put egos aside, work together.
The wiener measuring, come prepared and have guests.
Yes.
Those are good summaries.
Yeah, those are good.
Yeah. And you're right. I was thinking about the Graham thing. It's I think what happens on YouTube too, and this is the toxicity of YouTube, is it's so easy to compare their video is getting more views or this, and then this competitiveness happens, right? And then in some regard, maybe if, and I'm just thinking about this out loud, if I script my video out, I can't say something sly or subtle.
Right.
But if I'm always talking and my mouth's always moving, like all these things come out and maybe something comes out that wasn't meant to be said.
Right.
That's
exactly.
interesting.
Exactly.
Wow.
And some people are more
Smart
averse
me.
to that. And like, I'm friends with all of you guys still because I feel like
I was an asshole is what you're saying to Graham. I'm
no,
sorry.
I don't think so. No, I think
what it
certain
is.
personalities, help others, and I think yours does. But sometimes it's not always complimentary to other.
Sandpaper man.
Yeah, what?
I'm the sandpaper man.
Sandpaper man.
Sandpaper man.
I don't know the sandpaper.
Oh, abrasive.
Okay,
No,
that's fine.
Hopefully not.
No, I don't think you are. But
I mean, you saw me get paddled the last time
I did.
I
I
was
saw
here
you
with
get smacked. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which, for context, we were at Hofbrauhaus, and I come and I'm like, oh, there's
Oh, you're going to
Kevin.
that story. Okay.
Yeah. Oh no, there was a different smack story.
Yeah, you're right,
I saw
right.
that one. No, but yeah, I see him just getting paddled and just smacked, and the whole place echoes. And you love that. You're a partier. He's a party animal. You work hard and you play hard.
I love that. I do.
Yeah.
That is true. That is true. That comes with downsides. As
I would
well.
say you're one of the hardest working YouTubers I've ever
Oh.
met. Yeah,
Well,
that's not a compliment. That sucks.
It's a problem. That's true.
Just kidding.
That's true. Yeah. Good point.
Yeah.
Well, damn you. You figured out the balance. I
know.
haven't. I'm jealous.
No, I'm jealous of your ability to not care about other people's thoughts to the degree that that sounds wrong.
Now I
I'm
sound
not-
like an unempathetic.
No, that's not true. That's not what I meant. I meant you're able to get over your barrier of that so that you can help others. If you truly believe you're helping others, which I think you are, then you're able to conquer that, those criticisms. Whereas I'm like, maybe they're right. I shouldn't do that. And that's not a good thing. But the positive of that is if I see negativity, I'm like, well, I'm not that important anyway. Who cares? And I can ignore it. So it's a balance.
Well, it's the perfect time to mention. Check out meetkevin.com for the crash course.
Was that really the perfect segue? I
it was
guess that
perfect.
makes sense. Anyway, Kevin, I wanted to tell you about something personal. There's a death in the family, and this is the perfect time to mention,
for life insurance.
for
to
life
remind you to
insurance.
get life insurance by going to metkevin.com/life. A paid promoter of the
That
channel.
makes sense.
Yeah, it totally does. So why are you not making? Okay, we touched on this a little bit in Don't Sweat It, but give me 5 course ideas right now that you could make tonight.
Oh gosh, 5 course ideas. Well, I feel like
and then you should make it. I want to encourage you to do it.
Yeah, and the reason that I love the basics is because when I was in magic in the world of cardistry and I, for anyone that doesn't know, I've been doing that for 20 years. I used to sell DVD series back when those were a thing.
Yeah.
And I had all this data. We would hire magicians from all across the world to come and film videos with us. And what I found was the stuff that was most appealing to beginners and people who just wanted to get interested in how do I do my first trick or what do shuffle cards. That was the highest selling item. So,
Dude, make it.
yeah, so
right
I'm
now,
okay,
99
not
bucks.
shuffling cards.
Go to Andrei, the dealer,
no,
the shuffler.
That's not the point I was trying to make. I'm not saying that I want a course on magic and cardistry.
But you should. I mean, think about it. Even
I have. That's the thing. I've already done it.
But why aren't you pitching it? So
Because
that's
there's
what you
no
need
money
more
in
of.
it. There's zero money in it.
Why? Isn't it 100% profit once you've made it?
Yes, but there is no money in magic. There just isn't.
Well, then you got to rebrand it to how to get a girl by
Yes,
doing a magic
they did
trick.
do that. I don't know if I could bring myself to do that, but yeah, there is that.
Yeah.
There is that.
Yeah.
But anyway, the point I was trying to say is with the finance stuff is if I made a finance course, it would be more of dollar cost averaging. I could already see the criticism of this information is free, and it's that's fine.
So what? Put it together and sell for $69.
For sure. Yeah, that's an idea.
Do
But
it. It's an idea, so
sometimes
you're not
I
gonna do it.
value
You're not
my
gonna do
my
it.
peace of mind versus just the money, and that's why I don't make response videos to people that
This is
criticize
like Meet
me.
Kevin Exposed. He's basically like Kevin his courses. He only cares about the money.
No,
and
that's
the people
not
in
true.
the comments are going to be like, yeah.
No, that's not true. I think you care about helping people, but you have this belief that you know better. And that's either a confidence thing or an intellect thing that
Or
I don't
say it, an ego thing.
or an ego
Did you
thing.
want to say it? 'Cause
But
you
egos
said-
are good. Egos are good to have because they're healthy in the sense that they motivate you to do things, but they're unhealthy when they detract from what you're doing, which you do get distracted by it.
I've lost control of this conversation. Andre is just exposing me. He's
I'm
just hosing me right now.
exposing Kevin all.
Oh
yeah.
my God. Okay.
But you
all
know
right.
what I mean. It's good. It's healthy to have a good ego.
I mean, I guess. Well, I just I guess my motivation to you and the don't sweat it was just do it. Try
Sure.
it. Try
Yeah.
it.
And I want to channel my inner Kevin and just try. And if I fail, then I'll fail.
What's stopping you?
I'm just like,
A couple monsters?
Yeah,
Like,
maybe. I
okay.
don't know what it is.
Okay.
I just value my peace of mind.
All right.
But I
Okay.
should try it.
All right. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'll leave you with that.
I'm gonna
thought.
try to
Okay,
channel
all right.
Kevin. Everyone should try to channel Kevin's.
I don't know, man.
Motivation.
Some parts. Pick what you like.
Yeah,
And not like the $18 short shorts. Maybe that's not you, okay?
that's me.
Ooh.
That's the part I like.
Okay, so how are you investing right now? Look, is it Pokemon cards? Is it stock? Like just bottom
Pokemon
line
cards.
on
Do you
this.
think that little of me?
Look, man, I went into GameStop. I bought a Charmander cup, and the first person who came to mind was you.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm gonna be meeting him
What's
soon.
that
and I wanna
idiot
know,
doing? I should hit him up.
What's he up to?
No, Pokemon cards to me was just a small, like probably like 2-3% of my like portfolio.
And what's it now? Like 99%?
Now it's 99. Yeah. Lost everything. I have paper, which is great because its intrinsic value is that I can make a fire with it and keep myself warm. That's how sad it's become. So I'm just dollar cost averaging, man. I'm just doing VTI.
Okay,
VTI.
Okay.
Broad market, and then also SCHD.
No, I don't know.
Which I know you don't like. It's Charles Schwab dividend ETF.
Taxes.
So that SCHD, VOO.
You know what taxes don't matter is when you're not making any other money.
That's true. That is true.
But when you make a course.
See, they don't tax Pokemon cards. You can't tax what you don't earn because they don't pay dividends.
Oh.
No. So yeah, the stocks in that format, real estate, I'm not buying. I have a rental, which is still rented out. It's
Okay,
still
good.
doing great.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
And you have this. So
Yes.
you got two.
Yeah, this is paid off in cash
Let's
because I couldn't get financing for it.
okay.
Yeah, so I got this in cash. I'm really happy with
But
that.
I mean, if we go into a recession in 2 years and let's say rates come down to like 2% or whatever, 3% again, you could like piggy bank break this house.
That's true.
And then use that money to go buy deals at the bottom of the market.
See, that's the kind of risk taking that I would love to like learn as a personality trait, but it's
Well, there's
something
some
I don't
courses
have.
for you.
But okay, so your courses. Let's talk about your courses. Let's just face the elephant in the room. Do the courses teach you like that mentality or mindset? Because I feel like that can't be taught.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's everything's different for everybody. But like, I'll give you an example. There are some people who are like, always have the most debt possible on properties. And I know people look at me and they're like, oh, that's crazy, Kevin. I don't actually like debt. HouseHack has zero debt. I personally don't like debt. And what I would see is my houses over time, as time went on, their debt ratios go down.
Right.
So for example, I start off 25% down on a rental. And then a few years later, I'm like, oh, wow, that one's at 58% debt, which is almost 50-50. And I'm looking going like, oh, I could refinance those and take all this money out. And I'm like, nah, I'll just go focus on making some more money. Those would be insulation. So I'm a big fan of that. But what I then did is, and this is one of the things we talk about, and it's many perspectives like this, but I'll use those as a piggy bank, kind of what I mentioned to you. And so in COVID, when COVID hit and Jerome Powell cut rates to zero on a Sunday, and I'm like, oh my gosh, everything's about to hit the fan. I called up my lender that Sunday because he lives in my neighborhood. So I have his cell phone number. And I'm like, we're refinancing everything. Take everything out of these properties that we possibly can.
Wow.
It was breaking the piggy bank.
Right.
Because I'm like, shit's about to hit the fan.
So the property values would go down.
I didn't even care about that. I just thought there'd be other opportunities.
Right.
So, but if values would go down, I'd rather take them out now than if they go down.
It's so interesting. You're saying you don't like debt, and yet you use it very much to your advantage.
Oh, 100%. Because I was so convinced that whatever was coming was going to be so short-term painful. I didn't know, but it would be so short-term painful that it would be worth investing in.
Right.
And that's me as, like a 28-year-old or whatever.
Sure.
And so I threw it all into stocks.
Right.
All of it. And all my refinances closed at the end of March, early April. And that was great because COVID was very short-term. We had the V-shaped recovery. It was fantastic. This recession is different, whatever it is what we're going through now. Now it's like, well, would it have been a great idea to refinance everything in January of 2022 and go into a bunch of debt and then buy stocks then? No, right? So every situation is different. And then it comes down to like, what's your income and your capacity to repay and survive for the next period of time?
I guess I'm very much like Dave Ramsey to where I'm like, I don't want to use debt as a tool.
It's safer.
I have. That's why I bought the rental. So I leveraged $1 million. That's the loan on it.
Right.
At 2.5%.
Great.
And I'm like, I'm going to make money on that no matter what. Yeah. So I did that. But even that is like terrifying to me. But real estate is great because it's tangible. I can see it. It's great.
So let's say rates go to 2.5%, and then it's like there's some crash or whatever, and you can refinance this property for, I don't know, say $1 million. What I don't know what it's worth. and let's just say you have $1 million cash, and you're looking at the monthly payment on it, and you're like, okay, well, the monthly payment's, I don't know, $5,000 or whatever it is. Okay, just say it's $5,000 to make the math easy. And then you look at yourself and you go, okay, it's a 30-year fixed rate loan, primary residence loan. Am I going to go bankrupt having to pay $60,000 a year for this property? And then you look at maybe your other assets and your income, and you're like, there's no way in hell.
Right.
Well, in that case, why not have that $1 million to potentially make a good buy somewhere else?
Because I don't know if I believe in myself enough to predict that my income would stay within that bounds.
And that's fair.
Yeah.
So there are a lot of people, and I see this. They'll send in scenarios or whatever. They'll be like, "Oh, I have no income, but I want to take on all this hard money debt to go buy a real estate flip." And my response is like, "What the f- are you doing? Like, you have no ability to repay that loan.
Right.
Outside of that deal going well, don't touch it." And so you should only use debt to the extent that you know your income can by far cover it.
Exactly.
Because otherwise you have massive risk.
And
so
I feel
you're
like
right.
your income is exponentially more than mine ever was. So for you, that makes sense. And for me, I don't know how long this YouTube income will last.
That's fair.
If I can't innovate and create some ETF like HouseHack or whatever it is, then...
Or Andrei $69 courses.
Exactly.
That's what you
can't.
need, dude. The 69 course.
Oh,
and then,
69.
then you put like a 69 sticker right here, and it's like, don't sweat it, 69.
That's
See,
true.
that's a slogan right
That's-
there. Don't sweat it, 69.
There it is. A multi-million-dollar idea right here.
Boom.
But yeah, definitely at some point I want to expand and do stuff like that. But yeah, I just don't want to take on more debt because I don't know.
Okay, that's fair.
Where the
That's
income is.
totally
Social
fair.
media is so fickle.
Oh, 100%.
What's cool today
Well,
is
you could
not
get
going to be
canceled,
cool.
you
Yeah,
know?
exactly.
That's the problem.
But what's cool today is not going to be cool 5 years from now.
Oh, I was never cool.
You were cool. Not anymore. I'm kidding.
You definitely aren't now.
But you were. No, I'm
Oh, that's a
kidding.
good one. Okay, you said before we started this that you despise FSD and Elon Musk. You want Tesla to die and go to zero, and you're shorting it to crap. What's going on with your hate for FSD?
Oh my gosh. That's a word for word thing, huh? No, he asked me, he's like, we'll talk about Tesla. I was like, I don't know anything about Tesla. He's like, well, you own a Tesla. I was like, yeah, but that's all I know about Tesla is I have one. And he's like, do you use FSD? I don't, because it scares the crap out of me. I don't know if I trust it, because I've had moments on the freeway where I'm using it and then the car will just veer like this on a freeway, not on a street. Like that happens all the time on roads, but on a on a freeway, that to happen, you just feel like your life flashes before your eyes. So I don't know how people are using it and actually trusting it. But didn't they move over to a new system where now it's
the new neural net way.
the new
of
neural
learning
net?
it.
That's right.
I don't know which update that's coming out.
Like
in,
11.2 or something like that. I don't know.
I don't pay attention to all the little updates.
Yeah.
I don't have time for that. I do know what you're talking about. I don't know if that's out yet or what, but I will say I use FSD daily, and what I found, and I don't drive that much, but what I found is I have these specific areas where it's a total idiot. It's like a dumbass of a driver. And I'm like, I'm just going to take over here because you're going to like swerve into somebody else and kill someone, right?
Right.
So like I just take over in those spots, but I'd say 98% of my driving now is all FSD. You might try it again.
I just feel like 75% of California vehicles are like Teslas. I mean, I know that's not the real ratio, but you guys are mapped out. Every corner, every inch of California has been road tested by Teslas. I don't know if that's as true in Vegas, so maybe that's why.
Interesting. That's a good point. More like McLarens out here.
Yeah, no.
Those are nice cars.
A lot of, yeah. Are they? No, they break all the time from what I
Really?
hear. Yeah.
Oh, see, I don't know anything about luxury cars. I just look at them. I'm like, that is cool.
Yeah,
It's kind
actually-
of like I don't know anything about other girls. I'm like, well, those are hot girls, but I don't know. Maybe they're high
You know other
maintenance or
girls
something.
exist? How could you?
Well, I know I'm very transparent with Lauren. I'm like, the day I stop saying that there are other pretty girls in the world, it's probably the day I cheated, which I've never cheated.
Sure.
Knock on wood, I never do. But like that desire is there. When that flame goes out, like that's a danger. That's a red flag.
Right.
So we have that like weird openness. to
Sure,
each
that's
other.
fair. That's fair. But no, speaking of the McLaren, the guy that got me interested in supercars was Lucky Lopez, who I just did a video with in Phoenix. And we went to these lots where these companies, title loan companies, which I didn't even know existed. I've never considered them. But it's where you go to these businesses like a Title Max or something. You give the title to your car.
Oh, it's like CarMax, but it's Title Max.
Yeah. In exchange, they give you a loan at 300% interest yearly, like
What the
25% per
hell?
month.
Yeah.
It's incredible. And if you're not able to pay the interest monthly on that, they repossess your car.
Sure.
It's insane. But that data is not shown in any kind of databases.
Okay.
And his job is to then go to these lots and then buy them before they get set to auction.
Oh, he's buying repos.
He's buying repos, yes.
Those car loans are so predatory. I feel like those title loans, they're almost being made knowing that they're going to repo them.
Oh, absolutely.
It's just a matter of how long are you going to be the sucker
Absolutely.
for the loans.
And the worst thing is if those companies also own like a banking license, and if they give you that loan, they can then package the loans and sell them, and it's
See, that's what I need. I need to start a bank.
So here's a question to you: would you do that business? Because you're like one of the most
Loan
capitalist.
No.
But that's that's capitalism. Why would you not do that?
It might be, but like I feel morally wrong about that. Like that's just
Really?
disgusting.
Interesting.
Like, but now, do I want to create a bank and have?
But don't you think it's solving problems? Like if I using your logic, I could be like, well, I'm solving a problem
my
here.
course will
like,
solve those people's problems.
No,
you,
but think
you need
about
that
it.
title loan, man.
Think
you need
about
to
it.
be Kevin Course. What you need
As a capitalist, I could be like, listen, I'm providing a service for people. If they
Yeah.
need money right away to pay their mortgage, I will give that to them. But as long as they pay me, that's fine.
Yeah, it's true.
They're solving a problem.
I guess let me put it this way: there's probably plenty of money to be made there. I don't know that there's I could do it better than them.
Right.
I'm a big fan of going into businesses where I'm like, okay, you suck
Right.
and you're doing well. I can do it better than you. That means I can do well.
When you say you could do it better, like you can charge 400% APY or 200% APY?
No. I could to like apples to apples, I could charge the same,
Right.
but have a better service.
Interesting. Okay, got it.
So I don't know. An example might be like I don't know. You hire a shoe shiner, and you're like, oh, they're the best shoe shiner in the world, or you think they're going to be. That's how they advertise it. Flashy website, everything. You go get your shoes cleaned. You're like, dude, I could have done better, right? Well, if that guy's making millions of dollars, you're going to be like, man, I'm going to get into shoe shining because I know I can do better than that scumbag.
Kevin uses a lot of these examples, and I feel like you've been burned either recently or a
Many
lot throughout your
times.
life where you've hired people and you're like, this is not what I was promised.
Yes,
right? Yeah.
yes, both. Yes, recently and more recently and throughout my life.
Okay, that's fair.
So when you see me like taking these license tests, there's a skeleton somewhere where
That's
someone
right.
along the way has stabbed me in the back.
Which is fascinating because when I talked to Kevin about this, I'm like, you're getting all these licenses. Like for one person to have all of them is kind of insane because usually you would hire someone, they would have the license, but you're like, if they leave, then I can't operate. So you're doing it from that perspective.
Yep.
You just don't want to get screwed.
I'm tired of getting screwed.
Wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
financially.
Yeah.
Okay, so I guess so no FSD for you. You're good with Pokemon cards. What's next for you, man? Because right now you're not sweating, man, and I need some sweat.
What's next for you? It's so interesting because I feel like when we talked about our YouTube channels and how we're doing, because our ad revenues are down substantially
Yes.
this year. And I feel like my advice to you is just to survive and just go through this cyclical, like
through it.
emotional anger that we've been through, and now just get through it.
Okay.
And that's the only thing I'm doing right now is just to get through it. Now,
How
in the
long?
meantime, how long? I don't know. You tell me. Next year is that 2024 when Papa Powell lowers rates?
It's whenever inflation is truly transitory.
Here's a question I had for Kevin, and you're smart enough to maybe have
no.
some answer for this, but I've always wondered, doesn't the government have, we have an incentive to lower rates because our debt is so costly if we don't.
Mm-hmm.
On the other hand, if we keep rates high, if we lower rates, then doesn't that mean other countries around the world that they're not going to want to invest in the dollar? That makes the dollar weaker. So we have an incentive to keep the rates high as well on a macro global level too. So
Yeah,
where do you find the balance between let's cheapen our debt, but also let's keep our money here?
Yeah, that's really interesting. Well, I mean, on the first hand, let's be clear, and I think that all fiat is garbage and eventually will all implode. I don't think that will happen to the dollar in our lifetimes, so I don't think it's something we have to worry about. So like the whole dollar crisis going away, it's not going to happen. Regarding our debt, our interest kind of rolls off over time. So even though rates are like 5.5% right now, we're not paying 5.5% on everything. It's like a little bit at a time.
Staggered,
going up.
yeah.
Exactly. It's like refinancing a little bit.
Tranches.
Yeah, true. That 2008.
I know words.
Yeah. So I'm not so worried about that. I think what you're hitting on though is this relative idea of, okay, well, what happens if we lower rates? Are people not going to buy our debt?
Right.
Well, so this is the weird twist of it. When rates go down, those bond prices are going to go up. So they might not invest for the rate.
I see.
But
But for
they
the
can invest
principal value appreciation. Interesting.
that capital appreciation, because
Right.
as right now bond values are plummeting because rates are going up. As soon as that turns and you're consistently on a trend where yields are going down, bonds are just going to be a great investment.
Right.
As soon as we officially hit peak, bonds are going to be one of the best investments you could probably make.
See, this is why Kevin's smarter than me.
Stop,
I didn't
no.
think I didn't even consider the basics.
Stop.
That as interest rates go down, the bond goes up, which makes sense. Not everybody invests for the, fixed
For the
income.
yield.
Yeah.
Right, exactly.
Interesting.
Yeah. Wow. What else, man? What am I missing? I mean, thank you, first of all, for having me on Don't Sweat It. Make sure to watch that. That'll
you.
probably go subscribe and hit the notification bell to Don't Sweat It, because
you.
my video is going to be out way before yours because I churn videos out. That's what I do. So in like a week or whenever you guys get it up, go make sure you have the notification bell on so you see it.
Yes.
But what else, man? What else do you want to add?
What else do I want to add? Man, I don't know. I'm in awe of everything you're doing.
Oh.
It's cool. It's really cool to see you.
If I offer you and Graham and Jeremy for a PP ride,
I was actually going to ask you that. I wanted
back?
to ask you about that. I wanted to go on this. I want to spend a day with you and make a video. I don't know exactly how to title it. Help me create some clickbait
Exposing
thumbnail.
Meet Kevin.
Is it? No, because I feel like people would know I'm not trying to expose you. I know you well enough to.
I confront Kevin. I don't know.
So
we'll have to think
like
about that.
spending a day
Leave comments.
with a young multimillionaire who owns a jet. I don't know.
It's like,
But I would love to do that just to see what you're, because
Yeah,
I'm
you'd be
always
welcome to
curious.
come
Like,
around.
what does
Come.
this guy's day to day
Sure.
look like? Because
Totally.
I just feel like you're insane.
Come.
I don't understand.
oh, totally. Come show up at like 3 a.m.
You know what I did though?
Start
I did in my studio. I watched your video. I think it was a CNBC interview or something where you had a treadmill as you were
Yes.
typing.
Yeah.
I put a treadmill downstairs.
Good
So now as
for
I'm editing, I'm
you.
just walking and I'm like,
Smart.
I'm channeling my inner Kevin here.
Yeah,
So,
that's a smart idea.
Yeah,
That's
it's-
really good.
it's really cool.
Yeah, I'm glad you did that. Because obviously you need it.
I
No,
do.
I'm just
I
kidding. I'm
do.
just kidding.
Dude, I do.
No, you're great. So what about, but that's what we need is we bring Millennial back for like a final episode on the plane, 360 camera in the middle.
I'm so
And
down.
We break the ice.
I'm down.
You know?
You tell me where to sign up. So we got 50% of us on board.
Uh-huh.
Now, if you want to make it official, a public announcement to invite all of the other members, I'm here for you.
Graham and Jeremy, hit up Andrei because you probably ain't gonna hit me up.
No.
Hey, how do people watch you, man?
Find me on YouTube, AndreiJikh.com. That's not even my YouTube channel. Andrei Jikh. You're not gonna be able to learn just right here. It should be my name or
Link
just-
it. We'll link
yeah,
it.
link
Yeah,
it below.
yeah, exactly.
You can find me there. All kinds of magic tricks.
Thanks, man.
Appreciate it.
Awesome.
Cool.
Thanks.
Yeah.
That's fun.
That was cool.
Congratulations, man. You have done so much. People love you. People look up to you.
Which I say, yes, Meet Kevin.
Where does this mean we are in the economic cycle? Should we be thinking about buying real estate? Should we be thinking about buying stocks? I have a background in real estate as a real estate agent, real estate broker, real estate investor, a stock market investor, and fund manager. Why not advertise these things that you told us here?
We'll try a little advertising and see how it goes.
Always great to have you on. Kevin Paffrath there, financial analyst and YouTuber Meet Kev.